No matter what first of the month or what point of the year you are in, this could be a helpful reflection for you. I do a reflect, celebrate, and plan at the beginning of every month and figured if it helps me set my intentions, it could help someone else. So this month's reflection is going to be a little bit different because April 1st is not only the start of the month, but it's also the start of a new quarter. So I'm going to spend some time reflecting on quarter one. What went well, what do I wish went better, and how I can use that to set intentions as I go into the next quarter and the rest of the year. In case we haven't met yet, my name is Annette Bedding-Fuentes, or Annette Smiles. For today's reflection activity, we're going to use a framework that I love, and it breaks our life down into the 4 categories of love, health, play, and work. I want us to look at those categories and ask ourselves, from the first quarter, what did you do well? What went well with love? And love can be not just romantic, but it's also friends and family, self-love. How about health? What went well with your health? What did you do to take care of yourself? What did you accomplish? What felt really good? What went well for play? What did play look like? Did you think of a play at all in the first quarter? And then lastly, how about work? What went well with your work life, with your financial life, with the projects that you're working on? What can you celebrate? The second part of this is asking yourself for each category, what do you wish you would have done? Maybe there was an intention that you set at the beginning of the year. Do you wish that you would have done something differently? This is what mine looked like. I have my 4 categories. I tried to say as much positive as possible, as many things that I could think of for each category. For the question of what do I wish I would have done, I only chose one thing per category. We really want to focus this reflection on the positive from first quarter. We're going to put 5 minutes on the clock if you'd like to do the reflection with me. If not, you can skip ahead 5 minutes. I think it's really helpful to do it with me because right now you're watching this video, you can grab a pen, grab a paper, and just get it done with, or at least get it started. Honestly, 5 minutes usually isn't enough, at least for me. I highly recommend doing this with a group of friends or maybe a partner, because over the weekend I did this with a friend at a cafe, and it was really fun just to verbally process each step of the reflection. And honestly, I felt really energized, and I feel like I'm more likely to follow through with my plan because now I have a cheerleader and a support system as I go into the second quarter. In case this is your first reflection with me, something that I usually share for the reflection portion is if you're having trouble remembering or thinking of things, take a look at your old photos, your text messages, your calendar. You might be surprised how much you actually did in a short period of time. So without further ado, grab some pen, grab some paper, maybe something to drink, stay hydrated, and let's dive into the first 5 minutes of your reflection. All right, so the time is up for your reflection portion. 5 minutes might not be enough for you. Take this as a starting point and come back to it later. You could also, if you wanted to just take 5 more minutes right now, just restart the timer and go ahead and do those 5 minutes. I do want to move us along to the celebration. This is the part I think we miss too often. For the celebration piece, think back to the beginning of the year. What intention did you set? I think it's easy for us to get down on ourselves and focus on the aspects that we missed, but I want you to really hone in on what are the things that you set out to accomplish that you did, and what are the things that you accomplished that weren't even on your list. We're going to take 5 minutes to write down as many celebrations as come to mind. I want to challenge you to use the whole 5 minutes and find some celebrations that you have that you may not have thought about. So let's get started. That is our 5 minutes for celebration. So, I want to share something with you that might feel a little silly, it might feel uncomfortable, but if you're up for a challenge, I highly recommend taking this next step and looking at your list and not only reading it out loud, but find a mirror and read it to yourself and look at yourself in your eyeballs and celebrate yourself for what you accomplished. This is something that I think is just missing in our reflective journaling practice. We always take a look at what we can do better and we forget to take a moment to celebrate all the things that we're doing well. So take a moment. If you need some more time, you can restart the timer. And we're going to move on to part 3, which is creating a plan. We're taking a look at the whole of quarter 2. Something that I learned in Q1 is that having too many focuses isn't a focus. So we have to really choose one thing that is the one thing that you're wanting to focus on. Does that mean that everything else gets forgotten about and that you have no goals outside of that one focus? No. But we want to find one primary thing that carries all of the other goals and habits that you're wanting to build. I found it really challenging. So instead of starting with a focus, I wrote at the top of my page, primary focus. I left that spot blank. I then went ahead and used those 4 categories to think about in these 4 areas of my life, in play, in love, in work, and health. What are the things that would make me really excited if I did more of them this next quarter? I limited myself to 3 per category, which honestly is kind of a lot and maybe too much. I'm acknowledging that I'm writing down things that may not happen, keeping in mind we have all of April, all of May, all of June. So what do you want to have accomplished by the middle of the year? So let's take 5 minutes and write this out. You might see some through lines. You might see that you have a really clear picture of what your focus might be for the quarter. So let's get planning. I don't know about you, but the 5 minutes never feels like enough. But hopefully that time limit either gave you a challenge to push yourself to keep writing or give you a challenge to write as much as you can in that 5 minutes. I hope now you have a list of 10 to 12 things that you would love to have happen this quarter. Some things might be really specific, and then there's some things that are kind of more arbitrary. Those are things that I'm going to come back to later and get more specific. Because if I just say more reading, more dancing, it's probably not going to happen. A coach that I'm working with asked me the question, where is your starting point? Where are you at now with these? So that you know where more might be. So I took a look at anything that I wrote I want to do more of, and I wrote out how often am I doing it now. For a lot of them, it was once a month, maybe once a week. If I'm wanting to do it every day, that's a big jump. But maybe I want to do it once a week or 3 times a week. Once you have your list of 12, once you have your categories full, take a look at what feels like the most important. What's the thing that you want to make sure at the end of the quarter you checked the box? Maybe there's a couple things. If there's a couple, is there a through line that ties those together? That's going to be your one focus for this quarter. For me, I found that the through line was creating healthy habits that are sustainable. And the question I want to ask myself is this healthy and is this sustainable? A little bonus here. This is something that I don't usually do, but I was inspired when I did my own reflection. At the bottom, I just wrote guiding words. I want to add throughout the quarter just phrases and things that are helpful to me. Some things that I wrote for guiding words were, my goal isn't to just love me, but love the life that I'm living. My days are designed by me, and I get to create a beautiful life every day. This is something I'll keep adding to. This is what my Q2 reflection looks like. I love making it look pretty, but you don't have to. You can just use some sticky notes for the categories. I think it's really important to remember that these experiences should be enjoyable. Put on some music, grab something that you enjoy to drink, get cozy, and give yourself the time and energy to get this quarter started on an incredible foot. Thank you for taking the time for yourself and trusting me to share this process with you. I hope that it helps you start this next quarter with some excitement and some intention and some joy. I'll see you next time.